Stove League is happening fast and furious and in real time. All indications point to Freddie Freeman will be somewhere other than Atlanta. I say all indications because it hasn't technically happened yet. Freddie Freeman has not gone elsewhere, but the Braves have gone and signed a new first baseman. And not just signed a new first baseman, they've signed Matt Olson to an 8-year, $168 million contract that will take him through 2029 in Atlanta. Alex Anthopoulos called Matt Olson on Monday after acquiring the all-star first baseman in a trade from the Athletics and said that he had more news, told Olson that his next call would go to his agent to open up a conversation about a long-term deal. 24 hours later, it was done. Olson signed the 8-year, $168 million contract and then referred to it as a whirlwind. $20 million club option for the 2030 season. And Olson's excited about it. And why wouldn't you be, right? I mean, you leave the Oakland A's in the rearview mirror and you join an organization that just won a world championship and has got a lot of pieces going forward. And that's part of the reason that Matt Olson said the stars kind of aligned perfectly. Borky, you are not a diehard Atlanta Braves fan. I think you kind of watch them indifferently, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Is that fair?
I think
like
that's
you're not
fair.
cheering against them, but you're not like, yeah, let
Right.
me do the tomahawk chop in my living room. So it may be hard for you to answer this question. This would not be like asking you this question about a New Orleans Saints player. Try and put yourself kind of in that mindset. A guy that you love, who has been an MVP, it's time to sign a new contract, and the organization that you care so much about kind of goes cheap and decides they're not going to sign him. That's what happened with Braves and Freddie Freeman. Liberty Media said they're not going to spend the money. Maybe Ted Turner would have spent the money years and years and years ago, but it's not his baby anymore. But then you go out and you replace the guy that so many people loved with an all-star, and you lock him up for the next 8 years at that first base spot. How you feeling today?
Great, right? Baseball's a little bit of a different dynamic because there's effectively no salary cap. Teams can kind of spend whatever they want. And you just watched your organization not spend whatever it took to keep a guy that was a massive part of bringing you a World Series and endeared himself to the city and the fan base more as much as any player you've seen in any sport. I mean, the Braves fans absolutely love that guy. But especially in professional sports, because in college, they have limited eligibility. Players have to leave your program. They have no choice. There's nothing you can do about it. 4 or 5 years, they're gone. They're gone. There's nothing you can do. But in professional sports, you have to remember that athletes are expendable. You have to. He's 32. He's still playing well, but if you can get...
You weren't getting 8 years from him.
No. And so did you really want your team to overpay and overcommit for a guy that will soon not be that good? Or...
And if he is, congratulations to him.
Yes,
he defied the odds.
Absolutely. But only Tom Brady is unaffected by age to this point. And he will be soon.
Think about what the Angels did to themselves with the long-term contract for Albert Pujols. Now, do Cardinals fans still have an affinity for Albert Pujols? Of course they do. But the Cardinals made the right business decision in letting him go. And it's been the Angels that have had to wear that burden around their neck. And the Olsen story is a cool story. He's from Atlanta. He's getting to play in his hometown team. He and his wife just built a house there. He was about to go to practice on Monday for Oakland, and the GM for the A's met with him, and he was like, yeah, I'm not going to let you go on the field because you might get hurt, and this is not a good time for you to get injured. And the Braves put together the package for Olson. The A's accepted it, and Alex Anthopoulos then called Matt Olson, and he was like, hey, we're about to make a big offer. And Olson says, I was like, what'd you say? He got the offer. He talked to his family, and he's like, what is there to say no to? He was not going to be a free agent until after the 2023 season. So he had this year and another year before he was going to be able to test the free agent waters. And instead, he just signed an 8-year deal. And Atlanta's been good about this, right? They've been good about signing guys before they get to free agency to contracts that are maybe slightly below market value that are team-friendly deals. But because you do them early, players are ready to get more money sooner, and so they're maybe willing to take it. So he wasn't supposed to be eligible for free agent until after the free agency until after the 23 season. Instead, he's now going to make $15 million this year, $21 million next year, and then for the remainder of the deal, he'll make $22 million a year. Living in Atlanta, Georgia, not dealing with California taxes as his primary place of employment.
Where he's from, as you said earlier, on top of it all. It makes this easier, right?
And he's a good player. Good
player. The advanced stats say you're getting about the same player, but 5 years younger for probably cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and this works out for everybody, right? Because Freddie Freeman now gets to leave Atlanta as a hero. There's never going to be the point where his productivity drops off significantly and he's getting overpaid and fans don't like him anymore. Because that's what happens with fans. I mean, it happens in every sport, every single sport. They love you when you're great. They hate you when you're not. I mean, would you love to ask an Auburn fan back in 2010 what they thought of Gene Chizik? What LSU fans thought of Ed Orgeron 2 years ago? Now, get him out of town. I'm going to leak some bad stuff about his character just to make sure that everybody's cool with us firing him 2 years removed from a championship. That's how sports works.
Yeah.
So Freeman gets to leave a hero.
And now that's not going to happen, yeah.
And that's not going to happen.
And now you've got Freddie Freeman about to make a gazillion dollars, and everybody wants him. The Dodgers want him. The Yankees want him. The Red Sox want him. The Blue Jays want him. Apparently, even the Tampa Bay Rays want Freddie Freeman. I don't know which of those spots makes the most sense. I do know that that's a short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium. Yep. I do know that. I do know that for certain. So the entire AL East and the Dodgers, we know for sure, want Freddie Freeman to be a part of their organization going forward. Where will he land? I don't know. I mean, it still kind of feels like the Dodgers are the odds-on favorite for Freddie Freeman, who, by the way, has a house in California. It's almost like this whole where you live, being able to play close to that is a nice thing that the